Castro Golf Athletics and Performance. Speed, power, strength.
Hey guys, Victor Castro here with Castro Golf Athletics and Performance, and today I want to talk to you about something that I rarely see on the golf course, and that is warming up. Warming up is by far the easiest way to lower your scores on any given day. I can't tell you how many times I see people in the morning going up to the first tee, their adrenaline's pumping, they're ready to go, they get set up and they go into their backswing, and all of a sudden you can just see the look on their faces. They realize their hips aren't going to turn, or their legs don't feel right, or they can't get a good shoulder turn. And a lot of times this has to do with the fact that they're not warmed up. So what happens when they do this is they start doing a lot of weird things to compensate. And that includes hanging back, that includes first spine, that includes a lot of things that are going to be detrimental to your first tee shot. So what I want to do today is go through just a 5-minute quick warm-up for the major body parts concerned in the golf swing that are going to allow you to step up to the first tee with more confidence. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stretch out our hips. We not only need to stretch out the rotation of our hips, but also flexion and extension of our hips, which may seem counterintuitive in a rotational sport, but if you see the best drivers in the world, you'll notice that if you look at them in slow motion, when they come up, there's always flexion of the hips in the backswing, and when they come through, there's always extension of the hips. The reason for that is the golf swing is actually not just a purely rotational thing. It includes flexion, extension, and rotation in order to create the most power. So the first thing we're going to do to stretch out our flexion and extension of our hips is a very simple exercise, warm up with a driver. You're going to stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, legs straight. Driver's going to hang out in front of you, and then you're just going to, with your legs straight, try to go down and touch your toes with the driver shaft. You're going to hold it there for 3 seconds, then you're going to come up, and then you're going to put your arms above your head, push your arms back as far as you can, and try to push your hips as forward as far as you can. What that's going to do is allow you to stretch out the flexion, extension of your hips, as well as your hamstrings, and also your scapula, your shoulder blades. The next thing we're going to go through is rotation of the hips. Obviously, paramount importance, rotation of the hips is what creates all the power in the driver's swing. So in order to get some good rotation of your hips, you want to be able to know that your hips are going to do what you want them to do, so that you don't hang back, so that you don't do these movements that are going to add unnecessary things to your golf swing. So a simple drill here is you're going to put your hands on the driver in front of you, about 6 to 12 inches in front of you. You're going to get into golf posture like you're going to hit a 6-iron, and then all you're going to try to do is rotate your hips without moving your lower legs or your upper torso. Just your hips. You want to isolate those hips in order to make sure that that's what you're working out. If you don't isolate the hips, what happens is you'll get that leg turn, or you'll get that torso rotation that you don't want in a hip stretch. The next thing we're going to do is try to stretch out our torso. In order to stretch your torso, you're going to get into a similar position that you did with the hip rotation stretch, which is basically golf posture, but this time you're going to let the golf driver hang out in front of you. Put your arms 90 degrees to your torso, and then you're just going to rotate your torso without moving the rest of your body. Keep your hips straight, keep your lower legs straight, just try to stretch out your torso. What that's going to do is going to allow you to separate your hips from your torso in the golf swing and create more tension and more loading up, so that when you fire through, you have a compound reaction. Okay, the next stretch we're going to do is a hip stretch for internal and external rotation, but also flexion. What you're going to do is find a wall or something stable that you can lean on, because you're going to be on one leg for this, or if you can do it on one leg without leaning on something, fantastic. What you're going to do is you're going to stand on one leg, you're going to grab one knee with both hands, and you're just going to try to pull it up to your chest. What we want to do here is make sure that we're not bending over, we're not pulling our chest to our knee. We want to be nice and straight and pull our knee up to our chest. You're going to hold that for 3 to 4 seconds. Then you're going to let go with your left hand if you're on your right leg, and you're going to pull your right knee out, really get a good external hip rotation stretch, and then you're going to do the opposite. You're going to take your left hand if you're using your right knee, and you're just going to pull it across your body to get a good internal hip rotation stretch. You're going to hold each of those for 3 seconds, switch sides, and you're going to do 3 to 5 sets. The last stretch we're going to do is a compound stretch. It's going to stretch your hips, it's going to stretch your legs, it's going to stretch your scaps, it's going to stretch all the major body parts that are required in the golf swing. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in that one-legged stance again, right hand on right knee, left hand up in the air this time, and you're just going to come back into a lunge. Nice lunge, knee behind your toe, and you're going to rotate that left arm, that high arm, away from your front leg. What that's going to do is it's going to stretch, you can see from the front, it's going to stretch this entire band all the way through to the back of your right leg. You're going to come all the way through. Idea here is keep your knee nice and stable. You don't want your knee to dip down. Try to get as much of the stretch as you can and come back. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to learn more, feel free to contact me on my website, castrogolfathletics.com, or follow me on Instagram, Castro_golf_fitness for more information. Fairways and greens.